Welcome, I'm John Caldera, president of the Independence Institute and your devil's advocate. A little later we'll be talking to Susie Green about a wrongly accused man. But first, a success story against the regulatory state. Shihan Qu, thank you for being here. Now, you joined me a couple years ago because you were being beaten up by the regulatory state on a fun, wonderful little product you suffered to get out onto the market called Zen Magnets.
That's correct, Zen Magnets.
Give me the brief one. By the way, a really good businessman would have brought some Zen Magnets so that we could show them off and then sell more of them.
Well, the thing is, a good businessman also had to make sure he stayed in business by selling the magnets, and we ran out of them. So, sorry. You'll have to go to zenmagnets.com to see them.
Order some more. All right, what are these magnets? I think people know what they are, but go ahead.
They're small little magnet spheres, 5 millimeters. The most well-known brand was Buckyballs, and it was you use them to build things with, to fidget with. They're desk toys.
They're toys that, I mean, you can build things with, you can play with. It's like, so way back when, in Mad Men period, you had those little huge ball bearings on strings. You go and you play with them on your desk or whatever. These were little magnets, and you could shape them.
Right.
And they were cool. And you go, oh, that's really stupid. And then you start playing with them, and you start finding yourselves building things with them. And it was fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's intriguing, and it's really deep. It's intelligent. There's no skill cap.
Right, and you named them Zen Magnets. Why?
Well, I named them Zen Magnets 7 years ago because they brought me peace. I felt like it helped me kind of see things in perspective, but it hasn't been very Zen for the past 4 years because I've been fighting the government.
Now, this is your business. You put your sweat into it. You put your money into it.
Yes.
I can tell you're a very wealthy person, so this was just a little thing that it didn't matter if it went well or not for you, right?
Yeah, right. Me and my '96 Camry.
Yeah, your '96 Camry. So I mean, you're living the American dream, bringing a product to market, and people liked it. You were selling them, weren't you?
Yes. Yes.
All right. What's the problem with them? What was the supposed problem?
The problem is that they are an ingestion hazard. So if you swallow them, more than one of them, then potentially they can pinch inside of you, and then surgery will be required to pull them out.
So, you didn't know this, but you're pimping a hate-filled weapon of mass destruction, the weapon of choice for drug dealers, which they can shove down the throats of their victims, and in the intestines they might actually start pushing through the flesh and could cause a damage. All right, you're not supposed to swallow them. Is
ironically,
that right?
If we sold them as something that was shot out of a gun, it would have been fine. Right. Then we would have had no problem.
Yeah, you would have been fine.
If it was sold to, as a bullet, it would have been okay. But no, we sold them as novelty toys and sculpture objects, and therefore
I remember
it's not okay.
when we spoke 2 years ago, and that you were the last holdout, that there seemed to be a finite number of companies that were doing this, and each one was being pressured out of business one at a time. By what agency?
The CPSC, the Consumer Product Safety Commission.
All right, and how did they go about putting your competitors out of business?
They started out just by doing voluntary recalls, recall requests, where they tell people that you need to stop selling. And at this point, 10 out of the 13 companies in the U.S. did stop. I did not stop, and Buckyballs did not stop. Once they started suing, the other 2 companies settled, and again, I did not stop. I took that all the way to court.
They sued you, is
yes,
that right?
Yes.
They sued you to force you to do what exactly?
To stop selling. Also do a recall, but from our research, that's not something that's a concern. People don't send these back because they don't think it's going to be an issue. But we are forced to stop selling.
Was the product itself faulty? In other words, did it not work as expected?
Unlike, when the CPSC recalls something, usually you think something like a crib that pinches someone, or a toaster that burns or something. These magnets work exactly like they're supposed to. They're not inherently defective. They're doing exactly what they're meant to do.
And I want to make clear, this is not a law that happened. This was a regulatory commission that decided to say, your product, we don't like it, even though Congress never made such a decision, right?
Right. Congress spoke out against it, actually. But the CPSC, they kind of do what they want. So first, after they sued me, I was the only company still fighting. I took that all the way to court, the first to take a recall case to court and go all the way through it since 13 years ago when it was Daisy air rifle.
So stop there for a second. Time out.
Yeah.
So since Daisy air rifle,
yes.
one of the great Red Ryder air rifle. Mm-hmm. So they fought, but they make an air rifle. Of course
yes.
they're going to fight. You
yes.
made magnets, and you were the first company to take them on in 13 years.
13 years, and the first to win in 2 decades.
Incredible.
But that's not the big recent victory. The big recent victory was overturning their rule, because they made a rule themselves that said that basically these magnets were banned, that there was no waiver, no age restriction, no warning that was acceptable.
All right, so let's bring it back for me for just a second. So first they come out and they say it's banned. Mm-hmm. Now Congress didn't ban it. You said Congress actually spoke out in favor of it. How did they do that?
So there were a few Congress people that wrote letters to the CPSC
and said back off.
Yeah, said that we don't agree with this.
And they did it anyway.
And they did it anyways. They don't have to go to anybody. They don't need to take a poll.
They sued you to stop you. Were they successful?
They sued me, and then we prevailed, but they're going to appeal that.
Okay.
So it's ongoing.
But you did something else that none of your competitors did. Mm-hmm. You said enough is enough, and you took them to federal court over their own ban.
Right. So.
And what was your reasoning?
Well, the reason we appealed the ban in the 10th Circuit was because, number one, their injury data, their statistical data was very faulty. It was extremely intellectually dishonest.
I'm surprised. I'm shocked and dismayed.
And the 10th Circuit agreed. And also, they already shut everybody down. And then they were using the data saying, oh, well, look, this is back in 2012, the magnets were this prevalent, and these are all the injury calculations and cost calculations. But when in fact they already eliminated all the companies that were supposed to be regulated under this ban. And then they were pretending they didn't do that when they had this ban that was supposed to make sure there were no more injuries.
So the government, the feds basically said, look, all these companies are out, they're not selling them, there must be something wrong. But of course, they were the ones that ran them out of business.
Yes.
What was it that made you fight to do this? Because you put everything on the line to start your own business.
Yes.
You're out there driving your 23-year-old Camry, and boy, do I know what that feels like, because women dig that car. And you're out there doing your business. Why would you fight? Why wouldn't you just give in like everybody else and move on and come up with another product and move on?
If it was just about business, then I would have moved on. Then if all the experts and lawyers were like, don't fight this, you're not going to win. It's pretty much impossible. This is a giant government agency with bottomless resources. But I don't think I could have not regretted not fighting. I would have lost sleep over it continually. And it's just, the fact is, they're not right. It was just the principle of it. And people's liberties are on the line. People have the right to read warnings. Parents have the right to parent their own children.
And there is a warning on your product.
There's many warnings, many warnings. We have the strongest warnings of all magnet sphere sets. But they decided that apparently it was so severe of an issue that citizen consent was not really required for this issue.
What did it cost you? First of all, let's talk about lost sales. How many years did you go without selling your specialized product?
For the past 2 years, we could not import manufacture, and maybe about 2 months ago, we were on the brink of dissolving. We were nearly done. I was mentally ready for that. We had already gotten rid of our office, our warehouse. Right now, we're working out of my bedroom again. So, wow, it was almost all gone. But meanwhile, the magnets were still available despite the ban. It just came from Chinese sellers. It was all just black market.
So I could still get them?
You could still get them.
I just couldn't buy them from you?
No, it's not like you would go down to some, Colfax alley and there'd be some guy named Raphael.
Body.
Hey, you looking for some neodymium balls? Got some, some Kinder eggs over here, some lawn darts.
I miss lawn darts. What a Darwinian thing, lawn darts. All right, so there you are, and you're on the edge. So you lost 2 years of revenue.
Yes.
You lost your warehouse space.
Yes.
You kept your creditors at bay, and then you decided to sue as well.
No, So we were suing long before this.
But you're also then paying for the lawsuit.
Right. The decision came out just about a month ago, less than a month ago.
So what did the lawsuit cost you? Roughly.
6 digits. It's hard to say exactly. The legal costs, maybe
Let's try it this way.
Hundreds
of thousands.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
That's a lot of Toyota Camrys, 20-year-old Toyota Camrys,
Yeah.
and a whole lot of your Zen Magnets to sell.
Yes.
I mean, how many magnets would you need to sell to recover those costs?
If we were doing the sales back like we were in 2012, maybe like 8 months worth of sales.
So this was a ton of money. It's over
Yes.
half a year's worth of income, and with no certainty of success.
No certainty of success.
When was the time when you said, "Boys, it's time to hit the bricks. It's time to pack it in. We're out of here."
Well, I mean, it was already coming down to that. I was running out of money. There was nothing else to do. Another maybe 2 months and we've been done.
Tell me about the ruling itself. So you took them to court. You went on offense. And what did the court say exactly?
The court said basically that their statistical injury data was not sound, that it made it harder for them to judge whether or not these magnets were even dangerous because of how obfuscated the information was. And also because they had already shut down the industry mostly due to their regulatory actions, and that their rule pretended like it wasn't the case. So primarily those two.
So now you're back in business.
Now we're back in business. Unfortunately, we don't have magnets for Christmas because our magnets take time to manufacture, and we couldn't manufacture them until a month ago or something.
Incredible.
So we're taking pre-orders.
Will you be able to recover your losses?
Probably, but also the fight's not over because they are going to appeal the recall. They're going to shut us down, and meanwhile, all these other sellers that are untouchable from China are still going to keep selling, and they're going to sell with less warnings and less restrictions in less safe manners.
Despite the ridiculous shirt you're wearing, I want you to know you're heroic. I mean, it is amazing to see one guy stand up to this monolith.
I really appreciate that, and I want you to know that I love this shirt.
Yeah, I'm glad someone does. Shihan, thank you so much.
Thank you, John.
Zen Magnets.
ZenMagnets.com.
ZenMagnets.com. Stay tuned.
Thanks for having me.